All right. So something happened there. I'm not for sure what was going on with Sportscast. I got bumped off. I apologize. I hope everybody will come back. You know, saying we had a good crowd out there. I shouted out Knicks Twitter. You know, those my brothers. Even though we fight like cats and dogs on there some days. Other days we just fight like dogs. So. Yeah. So I'm looking to invite. Invite my man Charles B to come on so we can chop it up about the Knicks. And let me see here. All right. All right. So I just clicked on it, Charles B. So you should be coming on. You should be coming in a few seconds. Hey, Woodshed, I need for you to come on, man. Stop messing around. Stop being scared.
Right, all right.
My man's, there he is. My man's, what's up, bro?
All right.
Yeah, man, we gotta chop this thing up about these Knicks, man.
Yeah.
So let me. Go ahead. Oh, I was gonna say, let me introduce you to everybody, man. So we have a little core audience. It ain't big, you know what I'm saying? Just, you know what I'm saying, a few folks, maybe about like 70 or 80 that follow us, regardless what we do. So I just want to introduce to everybody my main man, Charles B, the homie from Twitter. You know what I'm saying? We be chopping it up on Twitter on the daily, keeping it 10 times 10 on everything. Mm-hmm. But before we get started into this, I'm gonna let the crowd grow a little bit, and then but I wanted to get your input on some other stuff. Yo, how in tune are you to the boxing game?
Right now it's slow.
Yeah, right now it's slow. Yeah.
But what happened?
Nah, see, I was gonna start another stream for stuff like boxing. You know what I'm saying? Maybe talk some hip hop occasionally. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Some old school, not the modern stuff. The new stuff, man. I really can't. To be honest, I really can't get into because don't nobody separate themselves from the pack. But some old school hip hop, like man, some Nas, some Coogee Rap, some Super Love.
There you go, Coogee Rap. That's it, brother.
Yeah, that's that. Well, when I heard my man say, and no lie, I was about like 17, 18. I heard my man say, all my manpower for $4 an hour took the time to write rhymes in the shower. And when I heard that, I was like, yo, you know what? This dude is special. This dude, right? Just by thinking that, first of all, just by thinking that, you're like, yo, this cat is special. And then for him to say it in a rhyme, then you're like, okay, now this dude is beyond special. This dude might be, you know what I'm saying, one of the greats to ever do it. And then for him to do it within the concept of a song, you know what I'm saying? So this is what he said, it's not a hook, it's actually a lyric. You know what I'm saying? So this dude is saying stuff just like that throughout the song. You like, yo, you know what? This cat right here is special. You know what I'm saying?
Listen to a song he got called Black Widow.
Who you talking to, dog?
Oh, you heard that joint?
Yes. Wait. Who you think you talking to, dog? I am hip hop, dog. I am hip hop.
No, but I'm G-Rap.
All right. Yeah, you got that off. So now that we got us a little following, I just wanted to make sure because we had this thing where Sportscaster did something weird and clicked me off, and I think we might have lost a few people. I just wanted to give everybody the time to catch up. What we had been recently talking about, our conversation on Twitter is, what are the next steps for the Knicks as an organization? And I think what happens is when we talk about next steps, the conversation gets convoluted because people take what they think is a step and they think it's the finishing step, but what they don't realize is there are each step may lead to another step. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, recently at State of the Knicks got on me because I said, if we trade for Chris Paul, then I believe we have to sign Fred VanVleet, right? So what I'm saying is so if we don't trade for Chris Paul, then I don't care nothing about Fred VanVleet. You know what I mean?
I don't want Fred VanVleet anyway, regardless. And State is not all there in the head. And Frank is trash.
Frank?
Yeah.
Well. So here's the thing about that, though. The thing about VanVleet is in a scenario where we sign Fred VanVleet, we also have a Chris Paul to be the primary ball handler, right? So you have a Chris Paul, and this is if now. This is not. I'm not advocating for a Chris Paul trade. What I'm saying is, if we traded for Chris Paul, I believe you have to have a secondary ball handler, because what happens is Chris Paul wears down over the course of a season, but he can carry a franchise in very long stretches by incorporating others. So if you get, say, a proven primary ball handler like a Fred VanVleet that is known to be an exceptional secondary ball handler, somebody to help Chris Paul carry the weight, then I think it's a winning formula for us.
Are you talking about starting them together?
Yeah, I'm talking about starting them together.
I don't like it. It's too small.
Right. Well, so here's the thing. Toronto won a championship with a small backcourt last year.
Well, Toronto won with Kyrie.
Well, Kawhi. Right. So Kawhi hit some big shots, right? But he played exceptional defense. But here's the thing, though. VanVleet hit daggers last year. If you rewatch the finals again,
how many debates you trying to lose?
Me?
Yeah, because I could crush you in this one real quick.
Oh, go ahead. Get your crush on. Your crusher must be new. Go ahead, get your crush on.
VanVleet. No. First of all, who we giving up for Chris Paul?
Randall, Portis, and probably Ellington, and we may have to give up Frank and Knox or something like that.
All right, Frank could go. You give up Randall. Yeah. You give up Randall, you short a power forward, and you giving up your best player.
Right.
Chris Paul and Randall together makes sense, because now you're taking the ball out of Randall's hands. Randall's not forced to be the main dribbler on the perimeter. Right. Which makes him make decisions with the ball, and you don't want him to have the ball in his hands making decisions. You want him to be in position to get it and shoot it. Right. Or take a couple of dribbles and go. You don't want him being like the point power forward.
No.
Yeah, so Chris Paul takes that off his hands, and Randall becomes more effective. The reason why y'all don't like Randall was he's playing out of his role. Right. He's playing the main role. He's not the main. That's not him. He can't be your main guy. He has to be the second or the third. Just like RJ can't be your main guy. Let's get it. Well,
so that is what you came at me with, Randall. So here's the thing. I'm not opposed to Randall, because it's hard to find a young power forward that can get you 20 and 10, on a nightly basis. But here's the thing, though. If you keep Randall, what do you do with RJ? You know what I'm saying? So my point is let me put this point.
Different positions, though.
I understand. I understand that. But so here's my point to what you were saying. So the thing with Randall is a great player, and he was used outside of his role, like what you said, right? Mm-hmm. You don't want Randall is not though. So Randall has great vision, and he can handle the ball in space, but he's not a primary ball handler, decision maker, just like what you said. So I throw Randall into one of the deals, and then at the 8th pick, take an Obi Toppin type player. And the reason why I do that is not because Obi Toppin is a Blake Griffin to Chris Paul's, CP3 from 5 years ago, but Obi Toppin is a guy that can stretch the floor and shoot jump shots, right? So now you basically have a Randall replacement with a guy that can stretch the floor some in the case that RJ goes to the basket and stuff and such like that. So I think what you get is a situation where you get more floor spacing with Chris Paul, Van Vliet, RJ, say Obi, and Mitch, because you have your veteran presence, you have your rookie, you have your young guy, and then you have your young guys coming off the bench. And then that way, what happens is down the stretch of games, like last year, down the stretch of games, what happened is we force-fed Randall, and Randall couldn't make plays. He made some plays now, like the Atlanta game, the Milwaukee game, he tried to bring us back. The Memphis game, he hit the Memphis game, he showed up, right? But at the same time, he is not the number one option down the stretch, right? I think RJ will probably be that guy down the road. He's definitely not right now without a jump shot.
Yeah. He can't be the number one. And you putting Randall in a position to fail. Now, first of all, you want to trade Randall and replace him with a rookie. Do you think that rookie would be able to do what Randall did?
Right.
Now put that rookie as the first option the way we have Randall. They both would be out of place.
No, he won't. No, he won't be the first option.
Randall is the best player on the Knicks right now. Why are you giving up your best player to get to draft somebody? Your best player is not a position of need because you got your best player on your team that need is filled.
Right.
Position of need is point guard and wing. Get Kara Lewis in here,
right? Or
Hayes. We don't need Chris Paul. Chris Paul is like a quick fix. He's a quick fix because you're going to give up too much to get him. You're going to give up your pick, this year's pick, to get him.
Well, fortunately, we have two of them, but we don't want to give up picks now. If we're giving up picks for Chris Paul, this whole thing is off the table.
Oh well,
right.
We might as well move on because you have to give up picks.
How do we have to give up picks, Chuck? Why do we have to give up picks when we're taking a think about it?
Chris Paul without picks.
Well, we don't need Chris Paul then. Well, we may as well move on because the thing we're doing is because we're taking on $40 million. Think about it, 30, 39 this year and then 42 the next year? No, we got to move on. No, because in theory, we agree with the point guard position. I think you have to address the point guard position long term, right? Mm-hmm. And we have to do it sooner. So we have to do it sooner than later. But I'm in the impression that if you have the resources, you don't just spend the resources on a guy just because he's a point guard. You know what I'm saying? Like all the point guards that come out now, they all have flaws in their game. Like LaMelo Ball played against inferior competition and only played 14 games, right? He played 14 games and he shot terribly. And we saw a couple of highlight tapes, and now we think he's the number one pick.
Well, I don't want
maybe he is that guy. Huh?
I don't want LaMelo Ball. I want
right. No. So what do you think about Kira Hayes being? I mean, not Kira Hayes. I'm sorry. Killian Hayes being left hand dominant. Like, when he goes right, he picks up the ball, and looks to pass it back around the perimeter.
Well, I want Kira first because he has the ability to break down defenses and create for others, which Frank can't do. You got Frank.
Right.
Do you consider RJ a shooting guard or a small forward?
I consider RJ Barrett a wing player. So if it's a shooting guard, I'd say in the traditional sense, like a Joe Dumars sense, no. You know what I'm saying? If it's a really Reggie Miller sense, no. I consider him a wing player like a Clyde Drexler sense, like a dude that probably is built for the three, that can probably do it two sometimes, but is best suited as the guy on the wing. That's what I say. Not that he's athletic like Drexler. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying in the sense of a body type attacking the basket, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, player like that. Because he's no way as athletic as Clyde, but similar body type is what I'm talking about, being able to take the pounding of a wing player. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think he can create mismatches against either shooting guards or small forwards. So I just look at him as a wing player.
Well, he's more of an oversized shooting guard, and
right.
He's like a shrunken Randall to me. He's like a shrunken Julius Randle. I don't want him as I can see that. I don't want him as shooting guard. I want my shooting guard to be able to shoot. That's why Frank sucks at shooting guard. You can't put Frank at shooting guard, shooting bricks. And you can't have him at point guard because he can't create for others. He don't beat his man off the dribble. He need a pick to move 4 feet. Get Frank off my team. Shout out the state and South. Get Frank out of here.
Hey, so let me ask you this then, and this is just because I just like poking you. So the thing with Frank is that he's so timid, right? Frank was timid on offense.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead. My bad.
No, I want you to finish your question so I can tell you.
Okay, so Frank is so timid on offense, you rarely see him in attack mode. And one of the things about today's NBA is you have to attack these defenses in order to get them to shuffle and move their feet and move around in position and such. So Frank is clearly not the, say, point guard of the future on his current trajectory, right? But I'm not against Frank not being on a team because I think every team needs legit lockdown wing defenders. Now, and what people will say is, well, where's the proof that Frank is a wing defender? I had statistics here that showed Frank was, I think, number 11. I think the 11th or 13th best pick and roll player, down from when his rookie year, he was the number 1 pick and roll player. You know what I'm saying? Like in terms of defending other teams' point guards or whatever, but he don't provide anything else on the offensive end. So I think he does have a place on a team. I just don't think it's at point guard.
It's not anywhere. Your idea of timid is my idea of scrub. He's not timid. You expected him to do things he can't do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Why Frank's not attacking? Because he don't have the ability to beat his man off the dribble. That's why he's not attacking. He don't have the handle or the speed. You need one of those.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you slow, you can get away with slowness by having a handle.
Shiftiness and handle, right.
Yeah, or have size. Or have size at the point guard like this man right here. To be and Frank don't have the body to back down small point guards, and he don't have the speed to go by them. Right.
I don't want. No, I can see that, and the Mark Jackson thing is so unfair. Why are you gonna do that to Frank? Mark Jackson had probably top 10 point guard vision all time.
No. It's not even the vision; it's the body type. That's what I'm saying. If Mark Jackson was slow, but he had the body to make up for his slowness because he'll post up guards and he get assist off of post ups.
Right.
So he was still able to create off of post ups.
Right.
Frank don't have that body type to post up guards, and he's slow, so he's not going by you without a pick. Everything's a pick for him.
And Frank can't stay healthy. So the thing is in my opinion, his progress is impeded by, and I know you're talking about raw physical skills, right? You're talking about raw physical skills. I'm just talking about my man can't stay healthy long enough to make significant progress and strides. Like he can't play 30 games in a row to learn what his NBA game is. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the handles thing, though, I'm about to do a video because I think that's a false narrative there, dog. Frank's handles from year 1 to right now is crazy improved if you saw what he did to Bradley Beal in the ISO, then you'll say Frank's handles are vastly improved. Now, is he Kyrie Irving? No. But is he like the 7th grade handles like he came into the NBA with? No, he's definitely got NBA handle. But in terms of the combination of stuff like you're talking about, like not having a burst, not having the verticality, not having a jumper to make his drive a threat, you know what I'm saying? Then yeah, I can see what you're talking about.
Now, when you watch that video of the one you edited, having him have a handle, watch how many times he palmed the ball. He carried it over to bring it to the next hand. Nothing about his handle was smooth. Nothing. He always carried it under. Frank, he's Lance Thomas at point guard. Frank is terrible. I want to destroy you on Mitch, but if you want to go with Frank,
hey man. So
I got time for Frank.
So the thing about Mitch, you almost make me want to come up there, dog. You almost make me want to get on the train when you talk about my boy like that. So my man. So for those unfamiliar to what me and Chuck B are talking about is, so Mitch set the all-time NBA field goal percentage by shooting 74.2% from the field, right?
From the dunk.
Right. However, so it's a record that stood for 50 years by Wilt Chamberlain. So it was threatened twice. Twice by DeAndre Jordan, and that was in consecutive years. But my side of the argument is, if a team can't stop it, why would you stop it yourself? Like, why would you stop doing it if a team can't stop it?
Well,
and I'll let Chuck B come in on his side.
Yes, I don't consider a shot that gets you 9.7 points per game something that's unstoppable. He dunks because he has no other options. If it was unstoppable, he would be averaging 20, 25 points.
But dog, I spend 20 because I don't have hundreds. It's still money. You know what I'm saying?
It's loose change. That ain't money. He averages. You talking about a record that Wilt set his last year.
Right.
His last year in the league, he set that record because he lost his athleticism and he had to go closer to the basket and shoot all layups like Mitch is doing. So we really comparing a washed up Wilt to a prime young Mitch.
No, man, we're not comparing Wilt to Mitch. We comparing the statistic.
That's the record. No, that's
I know, but we're comparing the record. We're not comparing the players. We're comparing the record itself.
No, Wilt's and that's what I'm saying. Wilt set the record when he was washed. So he took down a washed up player record. Now, when you look at the context of how he got the record, Wilt was done, so he had to be around the basket all the time. So that's why his percentage went way up. Everything was dunks and finger rolls. And that's what Mitch is. Alley-oops, dunks, and he don't even have a finger roll. And, Mitch, 1 footer off the backboard. If you move him out to 3 feet, it's gonna be a brick. So you can't. But you
gotta start somewhere though, boss. You're talking about a second-year player. You gotta start somewhere. And the era is different.
Okay, now we talk about the record. We talk about the record that was set in the second year, right?
Right.
So that's what we're addressing. If he do something different later on, we'll come back to that. But until now, he has 0 3-point attempts. He had 2 shots out of the lane in 2 years.
Right.
Everything is dunked. If Shaq decided, you know what, I'm only going to dunk and lay up, his field goal percentage would be 90. But he would only average like 13.
Man,
yeah,
come on, dog.
That's what Wilt did. Wilt averaged 12, 13 his last year. we talking about somebody who averaged 35, 50 points.
Right.
And so when he dropped down to 12, 13 points, that's when he did the 72%.
Right. Well, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this. So the eras that they played are different. Now, I'm not going to say the way they scored are different. I'm just going to say if you look at the 3-point line, right? So there was no 3-point line in 73, 74, right? But players still shot 22, 23, 24, 25-foot shots. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
No. I was trying to see where you was getting at. What they got to do with Mitch?
No, I'm comparing that. So the thing with Mitch is everybody acknowledges that the Knicks had poor floor spacing, and that's mostly on Mike Miller not telling his wing players when your player gets to the free throw line that your wing players should be either be on the wing or in the deep in the corner and not right beside, not parallel to your where the ball is. So when you're parallel to the ball, the player that's defending you on that mid wing area can also defend the ball handler. That's just like the elementary school stuff. If you're not in the play, take your defender away from the ball. That's elementary. But that wasn't taught to the Knicks. So now you get a situation where Mitchell Robinson catches in the paint, and you have like 2 to 3 defenders there. So you're talking about Mitch shooting 74.2% in traffic. There's a difference. If he was just down there by himself, uncontested, then it would be one thing. But you're talking about a dude shooting 74.2% with 2 to 3 of the biggest guys on the floor defending your shot. To me, that's impressive. Now, the fact that Mitch didn't take 10 shots a game, 12 shots a game, is more so on the coaching staff and less about Mitchell Robinson.
No. The fact that he ain't take 10 shots a game is because you don't get 10 dunks a game.
If he'd have got it 10 times, man, he might have dunked 7 times, Chuck. What you talking about, man?
If he dunked 7 times, he should average 14 points. Plus you add the 3 free throws. He should average 17 points.
17
if he dunked 7 times.
Right.
You're not dunking. Right. The team is not letting you just dunk. First of all, he don't have Shaq body, so he ain't gonna just back you down and dunk. He's getting a dunk off of lobs,
right?
Off of putbacks. He's not posting nobody and dunking.
Right.
So right. I'm saying, so he's an opportunist. That's why he averaged 9.7.
Right.
But if you down by 1 point with 8 seconds, you can't throw the ball to Mitch and say, "Get me 2 points." Where does 74% go then? Since you're looking at 74 like this great field goal percentage.
It is a great field goal, dog. It's a record.
Where do it go then? Where do the 74% go then? You can't. You throw him the ball and say, "Mitch, we down by 1, 8 seconds left. You got Spud Webb on you. What is Mitch gonna do? He gonna shoot a hook over the backboard. You can't. Mitch has no post moves.
Right.
You don't have the body to back you down.
Right.
You bragging about lobs and dunks and saying 74%, but you're not looking at how he got it.
Right.
You're just looking at 74% is impressive. Nobody ever did it before.
Right.
Nobody ever lacked that ability to only have to dunk.
Okay. So let me ask you this then. So if that record is so great and what Mitch did was so easy, how come that record is not challenged, hadn't been challenged in 50 years?
Because everybody else shoot outside the lane.
I understand that.
Shoot outside the lane.
But if they had a choice, though.
Jordan came close, but he also shoot outside the lane sometimes.
Right. Right.
If Jordan chose to just dunk because he jumps way higher than Mitch, plus he had Chris Paul throwing him lobs. So if he decided to just dunk all the time, that record would have been down. That record would have been down, man. You bragging about something that created 9.7 points a game and saying it's unstoppable.
On how many shots though? So my man averaged that on 6 shots. That's less an indictment on your argument and more an indictment of how the Knicks offense ran. If you knew you couldn't stop it, how come you didn't keep doing it?
It is stopped. It ain't nothing to stop. He averaging 9. Give him 9. All right, go ahead and get your 9. There's nothing to stop.
All right.
Nobody's keying on Mitch. Nobody's like, oh, we got to stop him from getting this 9. No, you stop the dude that's getting 25, 30. You ain't worrying about 9 points.
Right, and that's exactly why the Knicks have the 8th pick in the draft. because they not giving up. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I also want you to
hold on. Because what? Because they not giving the ball to Mitch in the post. What is Mitch?
Right. No. By giving my man more opportunity. So okay. So my man, I forget his name. The coach in Atlanta, the black coach in Atlanta, right? You know what he does, right? And dead ball, timeouts, out of bounds situations. You know what the first thing they look to? They look to lobs for the kid John Collins or threes to Trae Young. They look for the lob first and the three to Trae Young second. You know what I'm saying? And so if that kid catches 2 lobs a game, that's 4 points on top of the hard work he had to do otherwise in the flow of the game. So if you're talking about adding that to Mitch, then you're talking about my man averaging 13 points on 8 shots. You know what I'm saying?
He might be able to do that with Chris Paul. He's not doing that with Frank. First of all, everything Frank do is slow. So his lob is slow. His lob gonna get picked off in midair. Frank is we not even talk about Frank. Frank is
we talk about Frank, man.
Frank is terrible.
Right. Well,
give me 3 months, I'll get in shape and bust Frank down. Frank is terrible.
Well, so let me shout out a couple people in the chat. I see
chemistry with nobody. Frank S and YK. Frank ain't got no damn chemistry.
Hey, SNY, hey, shout out to everybody for being here. You know what I'm saying? Checking out Nick's Twitter. This is what we've been wanting to do for a while. Nick's Twitter thread, man. Y'all gotta come on here and y'all gotta do this thing, man. Get on here and chop it up in real time. Talk some real stuff. You know what I'm saying?
SNY. Oh man, I see he agging him. I'm about to go harder on Frank because SNY is. Yeah.
Hey, well, I'm gonna say this about Mitch, and then I'll let you have the rest of the Mitch argument. But for one, teams it's hard for teams to find a 7-footer that can stay healthy. For one, 2, defend the rim and defend the perimeter. Usually they're one or the other. Like a Kelly Olynyk can defend on the perimeter, but he can't defend at the rim, right? And Embiid can defend at the rim, but he's not a perimeter defender. So it's hard to find a guy like Mitch that can do both, that can actually move around athletically. Like Rudy Gobert can defend the rim, but on the perimeter, he looks like a baby giraffe. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So Mitch. So the fact that Mitch can do that is a plus. The fact that Mitch
defend the perimeter,
right? That he can switch on to smaller players.
Oh, and he's better at that. He's better at that than defending the post.
That may be true. That may be true.
Because he's light in the back pocket, so he don't keep no bigs out of there. They all score him. Yeah. So he's better at defending the post because of his length.
Well,
go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, well, that may be true, but I think part of that has to do with him having to get season 2 because pump fakes kill Mitch in the post and gets him in foul trouble. You know what I'm saying? Because we know he's an insatiable shot blocker, which means every time he sees a shot, you know, he wants to block it, as opposed to knowing when to just go straight up and down, you know, when to be aggressive on closeouts and such, and when to just, you know, slap a shot in the second or third row. So he's still trying to figure that out. But the other thing too, what we don't give Mitch credit for is having great hands, being able to finish and contact.
He don't have great hands.
How do you not have great hands? Chuck, come on, dog.
How do you fumble all these? Yo, there has to be a video with Mitch fumbling lobs. He don't have great hands.
Dog, from what I see, hey, my man has great hands. I don't see him fumbling lobs. I don't see him fumbling post entry passes. You know, maybe you and I can do some research on it. Maybe put a video out or something. But I don't see. And if I'm wrong, I'll admit to it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You crazy
hell. You crazy. You crazy. Mitch is not.
Save you admit, I got it. You wrong.
Man, you crazy as hell, man. My man ain't got hands like that.
Since I figure out how to get on this live thing, you haven't been right since. But I'm trying.
You crazy. So I'm not. So you saying I'm not right about Mitch in the record?
Oh, nah. you're way off about Mitch.
You bugging, dog.
That record is terrible. That record is bogus. Nobody even acknowledges that record.
Hey man, not Knicks fans. Knicks fans, we eat our young. That's what we do.
If he averaged 20 and had that record, it'd be different. Because nobody did that. When Wilt did it, he averaged 12, 13. Mitch averaged 9.7. You talking about what, 4 to 5 shots a game, and you bragging about 74%? Yuck.
SNYK said that the record is ass. But if the record is ass, why do you count it? If the record doesn't mean anything, why you count it?
I don't count that shit. You count it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
It's terrible. 74% on dunks. That's a yuck, man. Yuck.
Come on. Yuck. Okay, so
dunks. It's dunks. You're supposed to be 90, 95% on dunks.
It's not all dunks, man. It's not all dunks. My man gets a lot of.
Look at his shot chart. Everything is 3 feet. Did you do your homework before you came? You were supposed to do your homework before you came.
Yes.
I was going. Told you.
Who you talking to? You talking to Uncle Freezie? I'm Mr. Homework. I'm Mr. Nick.
All right.
I'm Mr. Nick.
No, all of his points is directly right there under the basket.
But if you wasn't converting them, what would you say?
He's super suck.
So he said instead of being trash, he'd be super trash.
I'm not saying I'm saying the record is trash. I'm not saying
okay. All right.
Because he brings what I expect him to bring. I don't expect nothing more from him. I expect him to catch lobs, dunk, and block shots. I don't expect him to shoot threes. I don't expect him to get Kareem's hook. I don't expect him to do no Hakeem Olajuwon moves, no dream shakes.
Right.
I don't expect him to get
okay. So how Olajuwon, dog, y'all. I'm gonna only say this because I see gray in your bed, and I know you know basketball, right? But Olajuwon was not dream shake Olajuwon when he first got into the league. That's a lie. That's a misnomer. But Olajuwon was a rim running dunker, right? He was a rim running dunker when he got in the league, and he choked in big games, especially the years when he was together with Ralph Sampson.
Well, Mitch ain't play no big games. Mitch ain't play no big games.
No, not yet. But neither did Olajuwon when he first got into the league.
And I'm starting to feel like you comparing Mitch and Olajuwon. Like,
no. See, that's why I clarified the point. When Olajuwon first got into the league, remember me clarifying that, right?
Yeah.
So when Olajuwon first, but when Olajuwon first got into the league, Olajuwon was not dream shake Olajuwon. He worked on that from about 90 to about 93, 94 when you saw he had it perfected. Because Pat Ewing probably was the best offensive center.
But he was never brick. Yeah.
No.
He was never brick shooting Mitch though. So all right.
Well, what I'm saying is this: Olajuwon did take time to develop his game, and he wound up refining his game to the point where he's probably the gold standard in terms of low post play at center. In terms of low post play at center, if you're talking about the finesse game, pump fakes, fadeaways, Olajuwon is the gold standard. If you talk about bully ball, then I probably go 4-4-4. You might got to go Moses Malone down in the modern sense now. In the modern sense, maybe some Shaq. You know what I'm saying? But, in terms of bully ball down there, Moses Malone catches balls and bully his way to the rim and dunked on you.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this. Why do you think Shaq didn't break that record?
Because he couldn't.
What?
He couldn't. And so here's the reason why. Here's the reason why.
No, because he chose not to just
hear me out. Here's the reason why.
He chose not to just dunk.
No, because teams were fouling Shaq down there. Teams fouled Shaq before he got into it. They even had a strategy.
Got to do a field goal percentage. If Shaq
because they wouldn't let him get into his move.
If you foul somebody before they shot, that's not in your field goal percentage. That's not messing your field goal percentage up. If Shaq played like Mitch and just only dunked and shot 1-footers, he would easily 90%. because you couldn't stop. He's too big. But he wouldn't.
I think it's like
30 points.
I understand your strategy, but because there was I think it might have been 2000. I think it might have been 2000 where they slowed down on the hack of Shaq, and Shaq, whatever year it was with Steve Nash, 1 or 2 MVPs, Shaq was in his bag, and Shaq probably could have been considered for the league MVP.
Let me try to put it like this for you. Anybody could break that record. Not anybody, but a lot of big men could break that record. But they would be sacrificing their game to do it. They would be taken away from their offense and just turning themselves into layups and dunkers just to get that record. That record is about dunks and layups. How is that impressive?
Okay.
How?
Okay.
If Jordan said, I'm gonna go a whole season and I ain't gonna shoot no fallaways, I'm not gonna shoot no jumpers, all I'm gonna do is dunk. You don't think that record would have came down? Like, you could put almost anybody name next to that and say, if they just didn't dunk no more, if they just didn't shoot jumpers, if all they did was dunk, that's why you got 9 points, because all he did was dunk.
Nah, man.
If you got to unstop it.
Defense starts at the rim. Defense starts at the rim and makes its way back to the rim. The teams don't just give up dunks. So you said teams, I'm gonna let Mitch dunk because I don't want RJ Barrett to hit threes on me all night.
Do you realize this?
What?
Do you realize that you are capping for somebody who averages 9 points? 9.7. You want to round it off like y'all do? 10, which is not 10. 9.7 is 9.7.
Hey,
capping for somebody who averaged 9 points, and you're saying he's unstoppable. Who is unstoppable? Averaging?
No, you are really good at this Law and Order SVU shit here. You should be on damn Law and Order for this shit you're doing against Mitch.
Free. Let me ask you this. If Jordan averaged 9.7, would you say he was unstoppable?
No.
Exactly.
No, we wouldn't say that. And at the same time, Jordan wouldn't shoot 6 times a game.
Look. If Kareem only averaged 9.7 with his hook shot, would you be like, oh, it's unstoppable?
But we're not comparing. Okay, all right.
No, you missing the point. You calling something unstoppable when it's only getting you 9 points. How is it unstoppable?
Because he's converting 3/4 of the time. So 3 out of 4 times this man shoots, it's going to go in. 3 out of every 4 times this man shoots, it's going to go in.
He only getting 5 shots a game. What do you mean 3 out of 4 times?
No, man, that man getting that. So, but that's not an indictment on him.
Whoa. Let me look it up.
That's not an indictment on Mitch. That's an indictment on your offense. And so there are videos out here on the. You know what? I'll add it to our Twitter chat. There is a video out here where Mitch is literally dunking on 2 or 3 people at a time. There is no. This dude talk about Hall of Fame, like your ass crazy, SNYK. You crazy as hell. Talk about Nick. Mitch is but you know what though, and why Chuck B looks this up. To SNYK, to his point or his point.
I think that's State.
That's State. Oh, that's State. What's up, State? What's good?
Yeah,
what's up, State? What's good?
Yeah, I figured it out. It was like a certain amount of dumb shit coming through. So I was like, yeah, that got to be State.
Yeah, that got to be State.
Yeah, like the third dumb text in a row. I was like, that's either State or South. I figured it was State because South would have went crazy over Frank.
Yeah, you know that. Yeah, but to y'all point though, the thing with Mitch is, I'm not saying that Mitchell Robinson is a finished product. What I'm saying is that his accomplishment is something that needs to be noticed, and also at the same time, we all know that he needs to develop other parts of his game. But we have never had a second-year center do anything like this. I mean, I know y'all.
Dunk?
Like, yes.
Like dunk, just only dunk? Like only dunk?
Okay, so I'm take Pat Ewing. I'm gonna take Pat Ewing and Willis Reed out of the argument, right? And name another center that we had was even close to doing what Mitch is doing.
Nobody want to do that. Who the hell want to? Who want to come in there and dominate with 9 points? Nobody.
Hey, State, take Pat Ewing. Pat Ewing is a Hall of Famer. You gotta take Pat Ewing and Willis Reed out of the argument because the Knicks had like 300 other centers to man the position. How are you just gonna name the outliers? How you gonna name Pat Ewing
more than Dunk?
But how do you name Pat Ewing and don't name Jerome James? Both of them outliers. You know what I'm saying? You can't just say
Jerome James more than Dunk.
Man, Jerome James was trash. Jerome, for one, how do you not know the plays on your own team? The team running the plays and Jerome James don't even know the plays. Why are you out here trying to screen and the plays running on the other side of the floor? Jerome James is the worst. Jerome James is the worst signing we ever made.
All right, check this out. I don't even have it pulled up, but you can pull it up.
All right.
Whenever you get time. If you look at field goal percentage leaders,
right?
Out of the top 10, I bet you all of them are dunkers. But the other 9, except for Mitch, also shot away from the rim.
Right.
They're all dunkers. It's logical.
It don't matter.
The closer to the rim,
how you get the ball in the rim don't matter, dog.
It do matter because you can't go to him when you need him.
No, not yet. Not yet.
What do you mean yet?
Because he's a second-year player, man. A second-round pick. You knew he was raw when we drafted him. Y'all knew he was raw when we drafted him, man. You know what I'm saying? So, but unlike the Frank debate where people say, Frank needs some time, to get better, Mitch actually showed a decent amount of progress in 2 different areas. He showed he can be a shot blocker and he can convert at the basket. That's 2 different things.
He's been doing that. He's a natural shot blocker and who can't convert at the basket. He don't get no points for converting at the basket. It's at the basket.
Right.
He's catching lobs.
Right. Dude. So okay. So since we're using that logic, so Kyle O'Quinn averaged the same amount of points as Mitchell Robinson in his last year. I think it was 17, 18, right? Mm-hmm. So can we just use a guy like Kyle O'Quinn to get Mitch Robinson's production? No.
Yeah.
We don't want that. No.
Use Wooten to get Mitch Robinson production. Mitch is not doing nothing out of the ordinary.
Nah, Wooten ain't.
You don't think Wooten could catch 3 to 4 lobs a game?
Wooten? Probably so.
Yeah, right? Yeah,
probably so.
A couple of putbacks there's your 9 points.
Right. Probably so. And see, I'm not gonna hate on Wooten because I think the upside is there. I just think he's way too raw for us to even have in a rotation right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
This is Mitch points. 4 dunks, 1 out of 6 free throws. There's your 9.
Okay.
4 dunks.
You talking about? Yeah. I see what you're talking about there.
There's your 9 points. How is that impressive? How? Man?
So
he'd have to mix it up. He would have to mix it up. He would have to add something to it. Anything, a jump hook, a fall away.
But that's what we
him to shoot threes, but a 10-footer. He got to bring that average to at least 16 for you to be on here acting like he really broke a significant record.
But listen, so here's the point that I'm getting at though. Here's the point that I'm getting at because I think we agree
that you're missing. The point that you're missing is he broke a record from a guy on his last year when he couldn't play no more.
It don't matter.
He couldn't
for 50 years. It stood. Elijah Wan didn't break it. Elijah Wan didn't break it. Pat Ewing didn't break it
when he couldn't play no more. So when he couldn't play no more, he had to go under the basket.
I know this.
That's how he got the record. And
this is
how he's getting a record under the basket.
I'm with you.
Again. He might do it again if he don't come back with a J or anything. He might do it again.
All right, so let me read this.
He's going to average 9 to 10 points again.
All right, so let me read. I'm gonna read a couple of comments from the brethren. So stated the Knicks said dunks and lobs don't work in the playoffs. Hey, we'll see when we get there. You know, I think he's right. I think he's right, but I would love to see it in action. I would love to be in the playoffs to see them stop Mitch. All right, and Essence. Okay, so State also said, huh?
Nobody game planning for Mitch. Mitch is already stopped. 9 points is stopped.
All right, so
9 is stopped.
I got you.
9 points is stopped.
So Shannon Ferguson said Chuck had Freezie boxed on that point, Keith. Okay. And he also said Freezie, the point is Mitch was making an impact on sheer athleticism. He was raw. It's impressive to make an impact in the NBA on sheer energy and effort. There's room to grow. So, but Chuck and I both said that. But we both acknowledge that my man needs to expand his offensive game. So I'm not saying that he's a finished product. What I'm talking about is the data that we have currently. I'm comparing the data that we have currently to his progress. I'm not saying what he'll be in year 3, year 4, year 5. What I'm saying is if we just go by the statistics that he put up, I think it's impressive for a Knicks center. Because listen, I've been watching the Knicks hardcore since like 1978. You know what I'm saying? I remember Marvin the Racer Webster. We give him a big time contract and he come to New York and don't catch hepatitis C or something and don't wind up being nothing. You know what I'm saying? I remember Chris Dudley at center for the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? I remember all the Robin Lopez. You know what I'm saying? I remember what's his name? Cole Aldridge tapping the ball in, scoring points for the other team. I remember all this stuff, man. I've been a Knicks fan forever. You know what I'm saying? For longer than a lot of people in this chat have been alive. But my point is, I think it's time for us when a Knicks player does something good, I think we should give them credit. You know what I'm saying? That's basically my stance on it. Now, is it too much credit? That may be. But what I'm saying is I think we need to give Knicks players credit when they deserve credit.
Okay, your point is your standards are low. So
are you crazy?
They are. They're pretty low.
So how are my standards low?
Because you're proud about 9.7 points. Because it comes along with 74%. Yuck. Think about how it sounds when you get you a piece of paper and write that down. 9.7, 74%, and keep looking at it. Matter of fact, get you a blackboard and write 9.7 on it 100 times. 74%. Write that on your blackboard and see if you'd be impressed by the 8th time you write it. That's not impressive. That's not impressive. It's the same thing with y'all guys impressed by Frank scoring 10. When Frank had a blow up.
Hey,
10 points.
Hey, first of all, let me tell you this. So first of all, in case I ain't know that Chuck B is a part-time comedian. You see how he throwing jabs in there? That was funny. I got
nah, that wasn't a jab. that wasn't a jab. Yeah, you gotta raise you gotta hire your standards, man. You gotta hire your standards and expectations. Like for me, Mitch was a 2nd round pick, so I really didn't expect much out of him. So what we're getting out of him, that's more than I expected. So I don't put any more on him. So I'm good with his 9.7 in his block shots, but I'm just not making a big deal about it. Like he really broke a big record.
The only thing though, dog, is
I'm good with who Mitch is. Frank, on the other hand, is terrible.
But I agree. Hey, you know what? We probably need to get back on Frank. But let me do this though. My point is if we were in playoff years, if we were in contention and we had a roster in place already, and the guys, was shooting 75% from the field, 9 points, I'm like, nah, we need more in order to get us to the next level. But we're in the middle of a rebuild. We're trying to find out who is going to go forward with us in this rebuild and who we're going to, trade or try to, get other assets for. When you have, rebuilding players, you got to set the bar like you said, lower, so that we can understand who we have as players. Like what you mentioned about Frank, right? So I understand, man. You drafted this Frank Ntilikina when you could have had a Bam Adebayo or a Spider Mitchell, right? I understand where you're coming from with that. Like, why take the risk on a guy that you know is going to be a 5-year project when Knicks fans want you to try to make the playoffs? At the time, we had a revolving
contract.
Huh?
That's the whole contract, a 5-year project.
Right. But at the time, we had a revolving door at point guard. You had your Brandon Jennings, your Derrick Rose, your Langston Galloway, your Torrey Murray, guys like that. You're like, yo, let's just draft our point guard of the future right now and just groom them. That was a thought then. And that's why people were mad when we passed on Dennis Smith Jr. for Frank Ntilikina, because they felt like Dennis Smith Jr. had more upside at the time. We didn't know what he was at the time. We know what he is right now. But at the time, we were like, yo, we need to draft the point guard of the future. We need to hurry up and start the clock on the point guard so that we can develop him to be the leader of our team. Well, 3 years later, Frank is still not developed.
False.
Right.
False. They drafted Frank with turning back the clock and going to the triangle.
Right.
It didn't have nothing to do with progressing. Phil wanted to try to go back in time, so they went to the Hoosier film and got this slow, long hand, big finger dude who can't do nothing but reach in. He fouls all the time. He always foul people. He's always reaching. He gets away with reaching, but he can't do nothing. He can't dribble. He carries. His defense is fouls, and y'all be like, oh, he's a lockdown. No, he's a foul down.
Statistics prove that, though, Chuck B.
Look at the game.
Stats say that.
Look at
NBA.com and Synergy.
Look at the game. Look at his defense and tell me he don't use his hands. He's a hands defensive guy. His
right.
hitters, he's slow of foot, so he uses his hands to keep you in front of him. So right. he's good with guys going east and west because he got the long arms. He put them out like a hawk.
Like a condor, yeah.
He decide to go north and south. That's when he grabs. That's where his fouls come from. Yo, he used to stay in foul trouble because he can't stay in front of nobody.
Well, Synergy.com says Frank Ntilikina is an elite defender.
Who said that?
NBA.com said Frank's defensive metric state that Frank is an elite defender. So
yeah, his long arms. That's his metrics.
I mean,
if he had regular people arms, he would be terrible. He probably.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all. If Frank was 6'4" with a 6'6" wingspan, his defense would be different.
Terrible. Exactly.
Right.
Terrible.
Right. So yeah.
Because he uses arms to his advantage.
Right. Right.
I'm saying that's the key to his defense. Because he's staying in front of you with his footwork. His footwork, he's slow. His feet are slow. He uses arms. That's his thing. And he stay reaching to keep you at bay like a boxer. He reach and reach. If they ever went back to calling the hand check, Frank went last 3 minutes.
Right. Well,
when you watch him, he hand checks all the time.
I don't disagree with that either, because I think the offense gets away with certain tricks on offense, like James Harden gets away with a travel on some of his shots. Mm-hmm. So when defensive players get away from stuff, I can see where they try to draw a line or have some balance, right? But when you think about Frank Ntilikina shooting 50% from three in the corners and then not shooting them enough.
I think it was 40-something.
No, it's 50. It's 50 on the dot.
And when you say not shooting them enough, it's the same thing with Mitch's dunks. You know what I'm saying? He's not being left in the corner enough.
Right.
He shoots he only shoots when he's open. It's not like he's creating off the dribble then pulling up in your face. He's not doing that. He's shooting when he's open. So he's not open enough for that 50% to really matter.
Right.
Now again, you taking somebody, you saying 50% from the corner and threes, but he averaged 6 points.
I know this.
That's like saying Frank is unstoppable from the corner. He averaged 6 points. How is he unstoppable? How is he unstoppable? It's the same thing with Mitch dunks. Frank from the three, Frank from the corner, and Mitch dunks. Same concept. it's not done enough for it to be considered world beating.
Right. Well, I'll tell you this. The thing about Frank, and just let me give you this like little 30 seconds or whatever about Frank, and then I'll let you do your thing. The thing about Frank though is, so I think Frank brings a certain thing to the team that we hadn't had in a point guard position in a long time, right? And that is being on the roster for 3 years. When's the last time there was a point guard on the Knicks roster for 3 years, right? And you're like, what kind of point is that, Uncle Freezie? You know what I'm saying? The point is we are very unstable. Like so Frank brings that one thing to the table.
It's not something you bring to this. All right,
that is something you bring to the table.
How many years Dotson got?
3. Dotson is in Frank and Dotson are in the same draft. But Dotson's not a point guard.
Neither is Frank. What are you talking about? They play the same position. The only difference is Dotson. What point guard averaged 3 assists? Come on.
Hey, no, I knew you was gonna say that. I just couldn't stop that one from coming.
Yeah,
I do it.
Nah. Here I come.
Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? Woodshed? Woodshed is in the chat now. What's up, Wood?
Yeah,
man.
You talking about a guy y'all keep calling pass first? How do you pass first and average 3 assists?
So ideally, what would you want the point guard situation to look like?
First of all, without Frank, that's a great start.
Right, that's a starter.
Yeah, and then Kyra Lewis and Dennis Smith is backup.
Okay, all right. So what will make you want to keep Dennis Smith Jr.? Like, what has he shown you that makes you think that he's going to be a valuable NBA player?
He has the same speed again. Speed, he can get to the hole when he wants to. He just overshot last year. And I think Frank rubbed off on him. So he needs to go back to how he was in Dallas. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So he has the ability to break down defense and create for others.
Right.
And that's all you want your point guard to do, and be some kind of threat. You know what I'm saying? On offense. And
so what about his court vision, man? So the knock on DSJ is that he doesn't see the court well. He's a selfish player, and he can't really pass.
What? I think you and Trace wrote that.
No, I didn't. No, I like DSJ. I like Smith.
Okay, well, Trace and South told you to say that, so I'm.
They paid me right under the table.
Yeah, that was terrible. That was terrible. Right. Court vision. You got Frank throwing the ball out of bounds. Frank leaving his man wide open, shooting threes, losing games. Talking about court vision and IQ. Frank is dumb. First of all, y'all look at slowness and saying, "Oh, he's never in a hurry." So he's real smart. No, he's slow. He's real slow. That's why he's never in a hurry. He can't be in a rush. How are you in a rush when you're slow?
Right.
So you put him and RJ in the back. I don't think RJ's a shooting guard. So them two slow turtles in the backcourt together is never going to work. So get Frank out.
Hey, watch yourself, Chuck. You know how I feel about RJ. Watch yourself.
Let's go.
Hey, okay. All right.
All I'm going to say about RJ is he's not a number one on a contending team. He's not a number one, and he's limited because of his slowness, so he has to use his body to get his shot off. Like, he outmuscles you. So he has a power game. So he's like a power forward in a small forward's body. If you look at it, that's why I call him a little Randall.
Right.
Like he has to bully you to score. He's not going by nobody, and all his shots are contested.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but he's better than Frank and Knox put together.
Right. So here's the thing with RJ, right?
You're about to be wrong.
You crazy.
I could tell.
You crazy as hell, old man.
I could tell by the time you said that. Here's the thing. Go ahead and be wrong.
So here's the thing about RJ, right?
Yep.
So we don't know for sure if he can be a number one option on a championship team.
I know for sure.
But his mentality is there. Like, he ain't scared of this. Because I don't know if you remember, but Alonzo Trier and RJ started in the backcourt in game 1 this season, right? Trier was so shook that he barely got minutes for the rest of the season. RJ wanted to dominate the ball from Mook and Julius Randle.
All right. Let me explain something to you. Every go-to guy has a go-to move, right? Every number one has a go-to move. What's RJ's go-to move?
Man, I don't know. That is crazy. How you gonna talk about my man got a go-to move after 60 games? The dude played 60 games. Dude played 60 games. I'm sorry, 59 games because he missed the game because of
he don't have one because he played bully ball.
But you can't stop it. You can't stop. Okay.
Another one you saying can't stop that average what?
15? Yeah.
Another unstoppable 15 point. But at least you in double figures with this one. First you had Mitch unstoppable at 9 points. Oh my God.
Yes. Because you keep saying all he does is dunk. Like the opposing team is like, yo, we're just gonna let you dunk on us all game.
All game is not. It's 4 times.
That's crazy. The team is like,
it's once a quarter, yo.
Well, I mean, because Taj Gibson started over him.
It don't matter who started. He played more minutes than Taj. It's once a quarter. He dunked once a quarter, and you giving him props for that. Yo, his 74% came off one dunk in the first.
Hey, 74.2. That's 74.2.
And then 1 out of 6 free throws. That's his 9 points right there.
No, he shot 60. He shot 63% from the free throw. But I understand what you're saying. Yeah, but the thing about RJ is though you can't judge RJ after 60 games because after the All-Star break.
After 1 game, I judged him in Duke. I'm a Duke fan.
I'm a Duke fan too, man. I've been a Duke fan since like '85. Back with Kevin Strickland and Tommy Amica and Johnny Dawkins. So yeah, man.
Yeah, that's been. I think Wood is trying to come in. That's been his game, man.
I didn't see anything from Wood, man.
You don't see the ask for the invite so he could bring him.
Yeah, I said that to him. So he can. Yeah, but the thing with RJ though is after 60 games, you can't really judge because for one, he had 2 coaches and
nothing to do with his talent.
He was caught with Mo Harkless. And anyway, after the All-Star break, people say RJ can't shoot. They say, oh, RJ Barrett can't shoot. RJ Barrett can't shoot. After the All-Star break, RJ Barrett shot 45% from the floor and 32% from 3. While the 32% from 3 is not impressive, 45% is what Spider Mitchell shot from the floor. So if RJ can't shoot, then Spider Mitchell can't shoot either.
Okay, all right. First of all, Mitchell shoot way more jumpers than RJ. Way more. RJ is much closer to the rim on his shots than Mitchell. So you can't compare those two. You got to compare somebody.
You can't compare. They have the same play. Spider Mitchell wants to drive to the basket.
But he shoots mad J's, man.
I understand he shoot jumpers, and a lot of them are bad shots on Spider Mitchell part too. Like coming off the screen from the pick and roll, he was shooting fadeaways over the opposing team center. They came out to contest instead of giving that ball to Rudy Gobert. You know what I'm saying? You saw that in the playoffs.
A lot of Mitchell shots are not Mitchell, but a lot of RJ shots are bad shots too because he knew he ain't making them. He's not a good shooter. He's not a good shooter.
He shot 45% after the All-Star break, man, against good competition.
On layups.
All right.
He's going to the basket. If you're going to the basket a lot, you're going to shoot a high percentage. So
we're basically at shooting a large number of 3-pointers in today's NBA is better than going to the basket and trying to make layups.
No, we're not gonna brag about 45% when a majority of it is coming at the basket. That's where we at. That's where we at.
No doubt.
No doubt. So my only knock on RJ is he's not a consistent shooter.
Right.
He's a good scorer. Put it like that. He's a good scorer, not a good shooter. He's a good scorer. He's what I thought he was going to be. Again, I don't have a problem with him. I don't have a problem with Mitch because they are who I thought they was going to be. Frank is who I thought he was going to be too. That's why I didn't want him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I knew Frank was terrible before they drafted him. And I knew that triangle was outdated. That should have never happened.
So the triangle is outdated, right? The triangle is too predictable, and it's too much for players to be thinking about on the court, for them to get easy baskets. To me, the triangle is outdated. I think pick and roll basketball is the way, and if you're not playing pick and roll or ISO ball in some spots, then your offense is going to be way down. You have to run pick and roll because it creates the 2-on-1 in the half court with one defender, and that's what teams find that to be the easiest way to get baskets. Because if you collapse on the handler, then you're giving up either a lob at the dunk, a lob at the basket, or a three in the corner. It's too easy of a. To me, the pick and roll is like the bubble screen for NFL quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? It's when you give people say two options really quick, then I think it helps your ball handlers. You know what I'm saying? And so with the triangle, when you're talking about doing triangle principles, your center coming up high, you know what I'm saying? And it's just too much stuff going on because these cats are the most athletic that we've ever seen in the NBA. You know, right now, and there were some times where the athletes were crazy, but now I think every team has a good amount of athletes.
Frank is not an athlete. Frank is not athletic. RJ is really not athletic.
Right.
Like Mitch is athletic. I can give you that. Mitch and Dennis Smith Jr. Those are the two most athletic guys on the team.
Right.
And no offense works good with Frank because he's the pick and roll. He's slow with everything. So all you got to do is stay with Mitch and let Frank brick the jumper. Or his slow, predictable pass is going to get picked off. You know how many times his own man picked his pass off? That's not supposed to happen. The guy that's guarding is picking off an entry pass. That's not supposed to happen. You know?
No, yeah, that's not a natural thing. That ain't supposed to be happening.
That's not supposed to happen. Then you have Rel talking about, his best strength is his passing ability. I'm like, what are you talking about? No, it stinks at passing. How your best strength is passing ability and you average 3 assists and you pass first? Supposedly pass first.
Right.
I don't buy none of that. He's terrible at passing. He's predictable at passing. He's predictable at dribbling. You could tell when he's about to switch to his left, from his left to his right.
Right.
His shot release is dumb slow. I could block it right now, and I'm twice his age.
Right. Well, the thing about Frank, man, that you mentioned, well, I would say this: the Knicks definitely need an upgrade at point guard. So your Kira Lewis thing is intriguing to me, right? So I like Kira Lewis. My only thing is I don't want him to start day one. I just don't. You know what I'm saying? Because
I don't care when he starts. You get Kira or Hayes in here, and you start him right away. You start him, let him learn by like throw him right in the fire. You don't wait. You don't. What you want him to back up Frank?
No.
You know how many guards get. You know how many guards get discouraged by looking at Frank play? Then they got to go in there. Ain't
nobody said no. Kira Lewis backing up no Frank. No.
Dennis Smith was averaging 15 points before he came to the Knicks. Then they sat him behind Frank, and he looking at Frank like, yo, this guy's terrible. How am I sitting behind him? And then it made him not want to play. I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to come off the bench for that bum either. Frank is running guards out here left and right, man, because he get more time than him.
So in theory, you'd like to see a DSJ Kira Lewis backcourt, right?
No. I don't guard, not together.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about rotation them two.
Yeah.
So here's the thing with that.
Or Hayes.
Man, that monkey is. I don't see y'all fascination with him because if you talk
fascination with 74% on dunks, but
that's because you're not think. That's because you're not thinking forward. You know what I'm saying? You're not thinking forward. Mitch is gonna add something to that. But anyway,
but he hasn't yet. Now you
because it's year 2. It's year 2. Year 2 is just finished. But Killian Hayes. So Killian Hayes has this thing, right? The guy from ESPN did a video breakdown with him. And so he was like, Killian, right now they jump out to hedge the screen on your right hand, and they know that you're going to pick up the ball and swing and reverse it back around the perimeter. What do you do right here? And he was like, what? And so he was like, yo, they know that you're one hand dominant. So when they force you the other way, you pick up the ball and try to reverse it. He's like, what? He's like, dog, you don't know that when teams jump out, they know you're one hand dominant? And he was like, so he was paused, and the guy showed him when he picked up the ball and tried to reverse it and just picked off the other way. That's his weakness. And if ESPN, because if we see this in the offseason, you think teams are not going to do that for him right now out the gate? The dude is left hand dominant, wants to go to in that direction. Now, I'll give him credit. When allowed to go in that direction, court vision is great, excellent passer, aggressive going to the basket. But when teams jump out and say hedge on it, he pauses because he don't have another hand. He can't reverse dribble. He can't go back the other way. He can't make a play in that moment. I'm asking Nick, man. No, I'm talking about Killian. You may as well be Frank.
Talking about Frank.
It may as well be Frank. And I'm asking y'all. I'm asking y'all if y'all going. I'm asking y'all if y'all gonna be patient while a young point guard develops.
Yes.
No, hell no. Y'all ain't gonna be patient.
Get Frank out of here. Yes. We'll take anybody with talent over what Frank is bringing right now, or ever. We don't want 3 more, 4 more years of this Frank stuff. He's rubbing off on the good players.
Hey, Rick. So at Rick as well. The reference that I use is the Mike Schmitz ESPN breakdown of Killian Hayes. It's about an hour long. If you want to check that out, man, I put it in the Twitter thread a couple of times. I think once or twice maybe. But if you want me to find it, man, I can find it and put it in the thing after this. So, but yeah, man. The thing with so I would prefer Kira Lewis over Killian, and my only thing is with I think the upside of a Kira Lewis is higher than a Killian Hayes, and it's because of physical ability. I think it's because Kira Lewis is flat out fast and explosive, not vertically, but straight line. But in terms of straight line speed, I don't know if there's a faster point guard in the draft. So if you use that as a starting point, where it's just flat out foot speed, then I think that's at least something to build on. Because if you can get Johnny Bryant, the dude that helped develop Spider Mitchell, to help with Kira Lewis, I think we may have something special too in about 2 or 3 years. Yeah. Hey, so Rick, I didn't see that, man. That's the knock on all the breakdown videos of Killian Hayes. They show the same thing. He can't use both hands. He's just not that player yet. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and as a fan, if you draft Killian Hayes, of course I would root for him to be able to handle the ball with both hands. I'm not a hater of Killian Hayes. What I'm saying is the obvious weakness is that he only has one hand. That every video, everything that I've seen. Let me see. So Rick is Rick, I guess Rick wants a piece of one of us. I think it's me. Yeah, I ain't give a shit. I ain't scared.
Hey, Rick, there's not much of them left, man. I done tore him to shreds.
Yeah, he done talked me to death about some bad points.
I done tore his Mitch case up after him and his family was calling me crazy. I done tore him up. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man. Hey, so the invite goes out to everybody, man. If y'all want to jump on and join, man. I want to push this Knicks Twitter thread thing to, you know what I'm saying, so we can have more people see what it is that we talking about. It's for everybody except for State of the New York Knicks, and he know why, because he just got to get his weight up some more. You know what I'm saying?
No, because we'll get banned because he'll start cursing and
yeah.
have no self-control right now.
Yeah.
So time to mature.
Yeah. So yeah, the thing is, yeah, we need to, we want to make sure that we put, because what happens is, we record this thing, we chop it up about, certain segments or whatever, and then, I save it and put it out there on Twitter and other social media sites so people can see what actual Knicks fans are talking about, and not just like media recycle mumbo jumbo about these secret inside sources that know absolutely nothing about nothing. You know what I'm saying? At least I know in this thread that, even if we don't agree all the time, at least I know people actually know what it is that they talk about. You know what I'm saying? We ain't just spouting off stuff just to get our visibility up. We talk this stuff because we passionate about the Knicks. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but anyway, the thing about Kira, and I'm sorry about I'm getting on that, but I just got to address our audience and stuff. But the thing about Kira is, I think he's got a lot more potential than we've seen, and it's unfortunate we didn't get to see him in March Madness against top level competition. You know what I'm saying? Because if we did, we'd have got to at least see his strengths and weaknesses on a grand scale, like when games count and the competition is tougher. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the things like Aaron Nesmith, who I feel like we should draft. You know what I'm saying? I would love to see a Kira Lewis, Aaron Nesmith draft. And the reason being is it addresses two needs off the top. It gives us 3-point shooting from Kira Lewis and Aaron Nesmith, and it gives us a point guard prospect to work on, to groom going forward, a guy that we think is going to be the point guard of the future. You know what I'm saying? My only knock on Kira Lewis, though, is at 170 pounds, I don't see him starting in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? I just can't see a guy playing 80 games, you know what I'm saying, at 165, 170. And the last video I saw on him, he was actually 163, and he said he was 170. So, I mean, I don't know. The University of Alabama had him listed as 163, and he was saying he's 170.
They said he put on 15 pounds of muscle. I'm not worried about his weight. As long as he could finish, get to the basket, get by people, I'm really not worried about his weight. It's not like he a sumo.
Right. So what does he bring to the table for the Knicks? So what do you think he brings to the table?
Who, Kara?
Yeah.
The distributor, the ability to break down defense and draw defenders and kick out or finish at the rim. He finished with both hands, and you can't stay in front of him. That's always a problem when you can't stay in front of a point guard, because your defending is the first line of defense. So once you get by him, it's 4 and 5. It's 4 and 5. So advantage offense. We just can't have bums like Frank standing out there waiting for the pass. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Get him over here and move RJ closer to the basket until he develops some kind of shot, and get Mitch off the floor when the game is in the balance. Mitch is you brag about Mitch, but you got to take him off the court if you're in the playoffs. In the final seconds, the final minutes, you got to play offense, defense with him. You can't have him on the court for offense.
We don't know that though, bro. We don't know that for sure. We got to get to the playoffs and see. We don't know if he'll develop.
We seen plenty of examples when teams had to take the big man off the court,
right?
Because they wasn't a threat, and the other team goes small now. Teams be going small, man.
So you're using the Brook Lopez example. Like late in games, Milwaukee had to take Brook Lopez off the floor because he's a big stiff. You know what I'm saying? If he's not hitting his three, his defense is not important. You know what I'm saying? But that's what they predicated their game plan on all year. That Brook Lopez can hit the three and defend in a small area. But once he can't shoot the three, what do you need him for? You don't need him anymore. The thing with Mitch is, Mitch can switch onto, say, I'm not gonna say the fastest players. What I will say is he's not a liability when it comes to switchability. He's mobile, can switch on to right.
That's why I said you take him off the court on offense. He's defense offense guy.
Okay. Yeah,
you can't rely on him on offense. You need a basket. He can't be in the game. You got to get him out of there.
Right. Yeah. Well, the thing is he's not a finished product yet. So it's not year 9 of Mitchell Robinson. You know what I'm saying? We expect him to continue. We expect him to continue to grow and develop.
Continue to grow.
Yes. That's what we hired coaches for. That's why we hired Kenny Payne. And
Kenny Payne ain't Jesus. His ceiling and floor are close together. He don't have much growth left. Frank too. He's not going to get much better. He might get a little more consistent, jump his average to 41%, but he's going to be the same player. He's going to be the same slow scrub. He just might hit one more shot a game.
Well, I'll say this. I think Mitch's ceiling is probably higher than that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not saying that this dude is a 20-point-a-game scorer. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is Mitch is probably closer to 15 points a game and closer to double-digit rebounds. And
in 2 games together, in 2 games or triple overtime, he's not.
No, get out of here.
15 in 1 game. No, he's not. For the whole year, no.
You don't think Mitch is a double-digit 15-point-a-game scorer?
No, do you?
Yes.
7 dunks.
So what?
Nobody's dunking 7 times a game, B. Nobody. That's 7 dunks. That's 7. He's dunking 3 to 4 now. He's not dunking 7 times a game.
Hey man, I'm gonna say this. The thing is,
RJ's ceiling. He's close to his ceiling now.
Who?
RJ. Him.
RJ, man, you bugging.
He's close to his ceiling. Yes, he is.
Sir, you are bugging. That tea you drinking must be from Long Island. You know what I'm
done. No.
You bugging. No. RJ Barrett's ceiling is all-star, long-time player for this team. You know what I'm saying?
He's close to his ceiling, is what I'm saying. There's not much he could add to his.
After 60 games,
it's not 60 games. It's the talent. It's his talent pool. Like, you see his talent. There's not much more for him to add, except for being more of a bully. Like, it's not like he's going to extend his range or he's going to become quick tomorrow. His floor and ceiling is close, man.
So I give
you much better than he is now.
I give you the physical stuff. Like, the physical stuff is hard to improve on that. I mean, even with training, it's hard to say become faster and jump super higher than you used to jump, right? I get that.
South is in here. Be careful. South is in here.
Oh! You better not say nothing bad about Frank Ntilikina. I know that. You say something bad about Frank, it's gonna be a fight in here. South is in the building. Hey, what's up, South? Hey, South, I shouted you out earlier, man. I hate you missed it. Maybe you can check it in the replay, but I shouted out a bunch of us from Twitter, in order for people to know like who it is that chop it up every day in this Knicks Twitter thread, and keeping it 10 times 10, man. Shout out to everybody for keeping the conversation going, because we've been at this for years. It's not like we just started this last week or something. But
Hold on. South. I unshouted you out after he shouted you out. So you're negated again. All right, go ahead.
Hey, big dog, I ain't throwing middle fingers at nobody. I ain't throwing middle fingers at my people, man. Even if we disagree, they still my people. So, but anyway, the thing with RJ is is I think RJ is a star in the making. And I know people are down on him because he had, a bad season, bad 60 games. But we forget that he shot 40% from three in the opening month of the season. And then they went away from him and was giving the ball to Mook and Reggie Bullock or somebody. I forget who it was. But the statistics show if RJ can increase his productivity with an increased role. When Marcus Morris was traded for Mo Harkless in the 27 pick, RJ Barrett averaged 17.1 points a game on 45% shooting from the floor. He upped his free throw percentage and he upped his 3-point percentage. And numbers don't lie. Numbers tell you what actually happened. I know 40%.
He wasn't going to be able to sustain that 40%.
Talking about from three? Talking about in the first month of the season? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that we knew he was a bad shooter when he was at Duke. I'm not saying that he was going to shoot 40% for the season. What I'm saying is he shot 40% for a month. For the whole month, he shot 40%. You know what I'm saying? So the potential for him raising his 3-point percentage is there. I'm not saying that he's 40%, but I'm saying he's probably closer to 35% as opposed to 32%. I'm not gonna say he's gonna shoot 44% when I don't feel like he ain't. I don't feel like he's ever gonna be a 44% 3-point shooter. And if he does, he'll prove me wrong. But as a resident RJ Barrett stan in our Twitter thread, I feel like I gotta defend my man. There wasn't no all catch and shoot. Rick is an RJ hater, man. That dude hate RJ more than you hate Frank, dog. I'm telling you.
Well, you said he's closer to 35 than 40 or something.
Yeah, like yeah, that's what I'm
saying. I'm saying he's closer to 32.
Nah, not after six. Not after 6 games. You got to give him some.
What do he shoot? What do he shoot from three?
32. He raised it to 32%.
32. All right. Okay. So he shoot 32. How you get 35 from 32?
Because
why are you adding 3%?
No, dog. Don't try to hit me with the mystery math. I don't do the mystery math, dog. I'm stating facts. The fact is he was shooting
32%.
No, the fact is he was shooting 29% and 39% from the floor. He was shooting 39% from the floor and 29% from three, and he raised it to 42% from the floor and 32% from three. But after the All-Star break is what I'm telling. After the All-Star break, he shot 45% from the floor, averaged 17 points a game, and 32% from three.
All right, and it leveled out to 32%.
Right, because he raised it.
Okay. All right, he had to raise it from 20-something. He couldn't lower it.
Right? Yeah, well, that's for damn sure. Because he was bad. He was terrible at one point.
Yes. So you can't credit him for 35 when he finished with 32.
Right. Yeah, look, Boots is in the building.
You need a topic you could get a win on, man. I'm destroying you in here.
You ain't destroying me. You crazy.
I knew this was gonna happen. I knew I was gonna come in here and slap you around. But
you feel like you're gonna come in here and beat me by decision. I'm hitting you with, but I'm hitting you with facts.
I didn't feel none of those. Those was I Mayweathered those. I ain't feel none of those, Jones.
Yeah, you feel like you can come in here and point me to death. You ain't gonna point me to death. I'm coming with facts.
No, your facts is.
You came in here and said, you told me, you said Frank is slow. That ain't a fact. You gotta hit me with some facts.
That is.
You know what I'm saying? You like Frank. What's your counter? So what's your counter, Chuck? Frank is slow. So I came in and I was like, yo,
Mitch only dunks and shoot layups.
Mitch shot 7 times. Mitch shot 7 times a game and shot 74.2%. And you was like, but it's all dunks, Free. You're like, come on, dog.
It is all dunks.
But I'm with you. So let me.
You call something unstoppable that created 9 points. How is it unstoppable if it's only 9 points? How is that not getting through that noggin of yours? It's 9 points.
Dog.
9.
I don't know, man.
9.
Yeah, I got a hard noggin, man. The ladies been telling me that for years, man. I'm just hard headed.
So I'm gonna keep repeating it to you. 9 points is not unstoppable. 9 points is not unstoppable.
Hey, so Rick said he don't kill RJ like you kill Frank. So first of all, I may have misspoke and I'm wrong. Rick, I apologize for that. Cause you know what? Chuck B kills Frank at every turn. Sometimes unprompted too. We could be talking about Julius Randle like at Frank's.
No, it's when somebody try to diss somebody else, and Frank is worse at that than them. So I kind of remind them like, "Whoa, how are you saying that when you caping for that?" You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it always fit. There's always some place for me to, to make that decision.
So all right, so let me ask you. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, man, so we can get on it and watch the game. But listen, man, this thing was super dope. I need to get more people from Knicks Twitter on here. Y'all stop being scared. It's just video, man.
Hey,
y'all talk that noise behind them avatars. Come out here and get dusted up like I did Chuck B. Get dusted up. Get points.
You need a sparring part. You need to pick somebody who's slow. So
I need to pick Frank. I need to get Frank on here.
No. Somebody who's mentally slow, like stupid. So beat up on stage. Get your name back up, because what I did to you wasn't fair. But I'm not taking it back. I'm not sorry about it. You deserve this.
Hey.
You was asked.
Hey, man.
You had it coming. You had it coming from that video about me.
Hey, I got to continue to call you out now. I got to continue. Hey, but let me ask you this. So when you coming on again?
Right after we do this, so you can remix it right back.
We can mix it right back.
You can remix it right back. I ain't done with you.
Hey, so
I've been slaying you to hook because it ain't get through yet.
No, I ain't just going.
It didn't.
You think I'm
you still think you have a point, like. So I'm not done with you. This is school for you. This is a lesson. I'm trying to teach you something, but it's not getting through your thick skull. So I have to keep pounding it in until you get it. And you're just not getting it.
No, I ain't getting man. I ain't getting it.
It's not impressive when you're doing it all under the basket. You say it to yourself, get your blackboard out, get your little pen or chalk and put it.
But you can't. Chuck, you can't use terms like that, man, because everybody don't remember blackboards. Everybody don't remember clapping erasers and getting punished writing stuff on the board.
Get your etching sketch. Down on your etching sketch. Isn't impressive for 9 points, and just shake it off and then write it again.
And then write it again.
74%.
So let me ask you. 74%. Let me ask you. So this will be the last thing that we touch on, man. So we can. So how far do you think a backcourt of Dennis Smith Jr. and Killian Hayes or Kira Lewis gets us this season? Is that a 35-win team based on?
It depends on other pieces. It depends on if you give up Randall, and because then you short a power forward. You short your starting power forward and your best scorer. So it depends. So I need to see the whole roster. You know what I'm saying? But if you just keep Randall and you just add Carl Lewis, and it depends on who you get in the free agency too.
Right.
But Carl Lewis is a good start.
Right. Right. All right. Hey man. Start. So let me do this, man. I want to thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying, coming through, showing the love in a weird Ike Turner type way. But
I took it easy on you. I didn't want you to cut it off in 3 minutes.
No, I ain't scared now.
No. This was my version of a rope-a-dope. I just wore you
out. A rope-a-dope?
Yeah, I wore you out until the 15th round. Then I put you
Right. Well,
I didn't want you to leave. I don't want you to get off and be like, "No, I ain't talking to him no more. He did me dirty." Yes, I did you dirty, but I did it in a cool, calm way.
Right, with those points that some of those points were like,
they're great points.
Some of those points were like, yeah, Mitch, you might need to get your weight up some. Heavyweights is for 200 and above, man.
Mitch,
you know what I'm saying?
Great point. Great point. RJ, great point. Mitch was the best though. That's the easiest victory.
Right.
The Mitch point was the easiest victory.
Frank was the thing you say about Frank has more tentacles than what people are willing to realize. But at the same time, hey, and let me do this one more time, man, before we all get off. I want to make sure that everybody know that we doing this because this is our thing. You know what I'm saying? Knicks Twitter, this is our thing. So I want to shout out a few people before we go, just real quick. So, all right, Shannon Ferguson, Rick Oops, Southside, State of New York, Byron's 360. I know Byron is back is who it is, but whatever. Woodshed Wood, you got to come on the show, dog. Come on, man. Come on, Wood. Z, Knicks Lover, Mark D, Chuck B, the special guest, Buds, Ian Chisholm, a Knicks fan, the Regal Bunch, what up? Jalen Taylor, AJ, the man child was good. Keith, Free Keith, Alex B, JB, Robert Currents, Easton's E, Tom's Mallory, Rob Magic, Max Julian. Man, it's your boy Megs, Jarrell, Excel. It's a bunch of y'all, man. Hey, shout out to y'all, man. Yo, keep this Knicks Twitter thing going. We probably gonna do this again. I'm gonna see if I can get Chuck B to come back on. I know he took this Dustin and he mad. He probably gonna go to the gym after this Dustin he took. You know what I'm saying?
It's easy. I'm gonna have a shot at Henny to celebrate my win. I just want to send two. I just want to send two unshout outs to State and South. Get your asses out of here.
All right. Hey, you wild as hell. Hey, thank y'all for watching. Hey man, y'all share this stuff too on y'all social medias. I expect to see this floating around so that we can draw other Knicks fans so that we can expand the conversation and get more input on these things that we talk about, man, and get more perspective.
Oaks and Rick in the building.
All right.
Two logical dudes be Oaks and Rick. JB is AJ is
I see that. Hey,
sometimes he.
Hey, shout out to y'all, man, and we're gonna do this again. Hey, Chuck, I'm gonna hit you up. I'm gonna hit you up later, man, so we can schedule a time that I can get you back on, so I can dust you up.
Good luck.
All right, man. Peace.
All right, peace.